So I'm like 5 years old. I got to share this quick story because somebody sent me a video today and it reminded me of this. My mother decides in her infinite wisdom to hire the Easter Bunny to show up at the house. So mind you, again, I'm 5. Yes, I had hair. I had hair then. It was thin, but I had it. Oh, and I had a big wheel. But let's get back to the story. So this guy shows up at the house with a walkie-talkie. I freak out, scarred from the Easter Bunny the rest of my life. Somebody sent me a video today that reminded me of that, so I thought I would share. Well, once again, thanks for tuning in. This is Kevin Weedmark, AKA The Mortgage Mouth. And what a reprieve that we had from the week prior, right? We saw just chaos these past couple weeks. This week, just back to normal felt right. Even with today being Good Friday, fantastic. And a holiday, markets are closed, so no reason to panic. And what did we see this week? Exactly that. No need to panic. I called it at the end of last week, said that the Treasury bond market was oversold, and I was right. Traders came back to long-term thinking, got away from day trading, realized that those inflationary reports were good for all of us, especially us in real estate, because we want those rates to be lower, and they bought back in. That is the long and short of what pretty much kind of sums up the week. But the mind shift, like I said, shifted back to long-term. We got away from that short-term thinking. If you recall, Trump comes out, big easel board, had lunch with a buddy today, brought up that easel board. I'm just laughing, like, right? We're back in high school, got a big easel board. Comes out, and all we saw for about, since that Tuesday, Wednesday he came out to that following Friday, just red, chaos, violent in Dow, violent in Treasuries. Rates were all the way down to only sky. It was nuts. So we got back to the long-term thinking, and really what's going on with these traders and the mindset now is they're like, okay, we see what's going to happen with inflation. We think that a lot of these tariffs are going to work their way through the system. The 90-day pause absolutely helped, right? It quelled all the uncertainty that we were experiencing in those major shifts. And then what everyone's now saying is, well, the economy is probably looking a little bit more rocky than inflation right now. So that's why we saw the buyback into Treasuries. Retail sales spiked this week. I wouldn't be too concerned about it. I really don't think that the consumer is back. The one thing that it just, hey, congratulations to the U.S. consumer. They are not afraid in any environment to spend dough. Doesn't matter what's going on. Let's go out and spend some money. Let's go to dinner. Let's buy a big ticket item. Shit, whatever we want to do, let's go. Obviously, I say that because for 2 years, I was talking about how I thought the consumer was reeling only to see them spend. And now we got this tariff chaos and they're still spending. But what I really think is going on is just people are trying to get ahead of what they perceive are going to be price increases. So the philosophy there is traders are saying, well, hold on. Yeah, we saw good retail sales numbers, which would typically indicate inflation, but they're thinking again long-term. If that's the case, then long-term, we're not going to see the big ticket items because they're doing them now. So we're going to see a slight recession in that economy like I just talked about. The other thing that happened this week is Fed Chairman Powell once again opened his mouth, talked about a lot of uncertainty, and talked a lot about just, what did I put here? And how bleak the outlook ahead looks for the economy as a whole. Uncertainty with inflation, uncertainty with the economy, but all in all, a slowdown is what they're indicating. But what I think the underlining there is if everything stays kind of the status quo with inflation and we continue to see a slight recession, I think we do get 2 rate cuts with the Fed this year. However, I don't think the first is going to happen until September. Anyone that thought it was going to happen towards the end of Q2, I think you're way off. I think we're going to see it exactly at the same time we saw last year. The other thing to note is builder confidence sunk this week. It was one of the lowest points that we've seen since February of 2023. Not something I would be overly concerned about. That really spikes and plummets based on a lot of factors with trade, labor, and obviously with the tariffs. I wasn't expecting an overall good number. We did see permits down and things like that. So I think the housing is going to contract. There's no doubt about it. The one thing that was not, I wouldn't say alarming, because I think it could be absorbed, and I think it's going to be absorbed by a lot of these big tract builders especially, is they're already seeing an increase with the tariffs and prices. So they're already seeing some suppliers increase pricing, and it's averaging about 6%. And that's why I'm saying I think it can be absorbed. I don't think it's going to be a major factor. However, it is something that we definitely want to keep our eye on. But that's why we closed the week with interest rates moving slightly higher, with that builder confidence in their indication that tariffs are here and they're already seeing that. All right, y'all, have an amazing holiday weekend. You need anything, I am still working pre-approval letter. You need me to run scenarios. You want to talk a little bit more, grab a coffee, talk about what's going to happen over the next couple weeks, please don't hesitate to ring me up. And if you're a consumer out there and you're catching this and you're in the process of buying a house, I lend nationwide, would love an opportunity to earn your business. I'm very straightforward, very transparent. I'm going to teach you more than you will ever experience from any other lender you talk to. So that would be the big benefit to you. And I'm going to save you some money. Rock on. All right, y'all, have a great weekend. And don't forget to subscribe to that YouTube channel. The Mortgage Mouth would be greatly appreciated by yours truly. Talk to you on Monday. Cheers.